Hey guys, let me know if you can see me and hear me.
Sorry.
Probably going to be an echo on that.
I'll turn my computer down.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
Lotus is in there chomping away.
Yeah, so you might be able to hear Lotus. He's in the kitchen eating his
Lunch.
first lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah, first lunch of the day. Next one will be around 3. So Enzo already finished his. He eats a lot faster than Lotus does. So if you hear him chomping in there, that's what's going on.
Did you finish?
Oh, gotta stretch. The laptop just scooched down. We do have an itinerary today. The goal is to finish the itinerary in 30 minutes or less and then do like question and answers for another 30 minutes. I am not feeling well today. You can probably tell just by looking at me. I feel like, because I can see myself when we're doing this, I feel like I don't look very well, so you guys can probably tell that I'm not feeling well. So we really are going to try to do the itinerary in about 30 minutes and then just do question and answers for the last 30 minutes. Nick and Riley are in here with us. They are our moderators. They've really been with us pretty much since the first live stream from the get-go of the YouTube channel. So you can trust any kind of answer that you get from them. It is the answer that we would give you. So if you get an answer from them, you should be good to go. If you want to wait to put your questions into the chat until we say that we're switching over to the question and answer, it might be a little bit more efficient for you to do it that way, because once we get to the Q&A part of the... Lotus might bark because the mailman just drove by, I think. Oh, bless you. He sees his shadow.
I know.
That's why he's doing that. Once we get to the Q&A part of today, I will just say, hey, if you put questions up top, just throw them back down, because it's really hard for us to go back up to the top and grab those. So if you do have questions, wait to put them in until we get to that part of the itinerary. If you are new and this is like your first time with us, or you just recently joined the channel, throw your name in the chat and let us know that you're new. So we can kind of really, are we going to do this the whole time? Lotus.
It's okay, buddy.
He is obsessed with the shadows. But yes, let us know if you're new so we can kind of see that and give you guys a shout out. I know, buddy. It's the shadows.
It's okay.
Did you want to start off with...
Now we're on the mailman.
Told you.
Ow, that's my foot. Did you tell him you get rid of him? We safe now?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're good.
Thanks.
All safe now.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Really, Enzo? Is that your babyest bark? If you had headphones in, you're probably deaf now, which I feel like Riley usually has headphones in, so this will be like the 5th time now that he's deaf from the mailman. I feel like the mailman, like we were doing the live streams at 12.
Yeah.
And the mailman was coming at 12 o'clock. And I was like, all right, we need to bump the live streams to 1 so that we miss the mailman.
That wasn't the reason. The reason was because we were running late.
But still, that was like part of the thing where it was like, well, hey, at least we won't have the mailman catastrophe. But apparently the mailman has also changed his schedule. Do you want to talk about Streamlabs, Super Chats, and Patreon stuff?
Sure, I can.
Okay.
You want to handle the pup cam?
Yeah, I just want to put it on the floor.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So we're not giving everyone motion sickness.
So if you guys don't know, like the way we stream this with multiple cameras is we used to use OBS, and this is the first week we're using Streamlabs OBS. It's a program that's been around for a while, but it's just in beta form right now for Macs. So far so good, but something weird could happen. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't crash or anything. And but yeah, if anything weird happens during the stream and it just cuts off or goes away, don't panic. Just give us a moment and we'll come back. The other things, there's several reasons why I wanted to switch to Streamlabs. A lot of it has to do with stuff behind the scenes that doesn't really matter for you guys. But some of the stuff that does matter is that you can do a lot of cool stuff. Are you chasing the shadows? It's because I have this giant light thing now, so he's all obsessed about the shadows. You need to chill out.
You need to go lay down.
Yeah, go lay down.
Excuse you! Get your hiney down! He's gonna get a spanking.
Look, nobody came here to see a blooper reel. Anyways,
You're gonna hear. No, we're not gonna talk back.
and he just whacked the mic with his tail, so I'm sure that was... Get down. Get down.
You lost your mind. You lost your ever-loving mind. What about Antler? What if we get Antler? Will that help you get the comms? You guys, this is everyday life for us.
The shadows
Seriously.
are too much.
The shadows, he cannot handle the shadows.
So anyways, some of the cool things you can do that I have set up, but I have no way of testing, so we're going to find out if they work, is that, for example, if anybody gives a super chat, it should come up on the screen. If anybody joins Patreon during this stream, it should show up on the screen. If anybody subscribes during the live stream, it also should show up. So there's a few weird things like that and cool features you can do, but I don't have a good way of testing these things. So, I don't know. We'll kind of see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, that's basically what we have going there. Oh, you're going to be calm now? Got the elk antler. I don't think he's had it since last week.
I don't think we have given them to them since last week. So that should keep him pretty occupied, I feel like. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. Just let us know if it is.
So yeah, if you see weird light... Oh, yeah, and the lights is the other thing.
Did you tell him? I thought you had told him already.
I told him that it would pop up on the screen, but I also linked it to... Because these lights behind us to our sides that you can't really see right now, you can kind of see one of them in the pup cam. They're linked to... They're smart lights. So if somebody does super chat, I think, it's
supposed to, like, flash
or something. But again, I have no way of testing this stuff, like when I'm sitting around. So I don't know. Weird things might happen. We'll see.
What else do we got? Oh, the seatbelt harness with Lotus.
Yeah.
So, you didn't actually post a video. It was like a picture.
No, there's no videos yet.
So Will posted a video or a picture of that on all the social media outlets that we have at this point in time. And that got I feel like that sparked a huge amount of interest. It's not something that we've ever talked about before, but we've actually had the seatbelt harness for a really long time.
Yeah.
We used to use it for Enzo off and on, depending on how long we were driving and whatnot. But Enzo's really been, even from a puppy, Enzo's really been good about riding in the back of the car or the FJ when we got the FJ. So we haven't had a huge amount of use for it, but as most of you know, and in the videos you see, that Lotus, when we're driving to the park or really going anywhere, he's wild when he is in the back of the FJ. So we've kind of contemplated, I feel off and on, should we put some sort of carrying crate back there and put him in that? You know what I mean? Because we want to make sure that he's safe, and then we also want to make sure that Enzo is staying sane. Because Enzo, when he's back there, he literally is just chilling. He's just happy to be...
Happy to go.
Happy to be in the car, happy to have the wind blowing in his face. He's just so calm, and then he's got to deal with Lotus back and forth, and then Lotus is usually whining the entire time. So we've kind of gone back and forth about what the solution would be, and I think we just kind of were like, hey, we have that seatbelt harness. Let's try that out and see if that works. And I haven't actually been in the car while Lotus has had it on, but Will has sent me pictures and some videos and stuff. And you said it seems to be, Beb, making things better.
Yeah, it's definitely not hurting. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, and I feel like he's a lot less voicey. And the good thing is I think with his fear and anxiety, now Will is able to just kind of like reach back behind the seat and touch him, and it's like, I mean, at least from what you've told me, babe, when you reach back there, he pretty much instantly calms down. So it kind of seems like it's working, but we've been doing it for like what, a week now?
Yeah, probably about
and we haven't
thereabouts.
used it every single time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, but we are trying to get into the habit of using it. I would say if it's working, we should be using it every single time.
Yeah.
The biggest issue that you run into is when they go to the park and they get wet and muddy, and then Lotus would have to be in the back seat to wear the seatbelt harness, and then the back seat gets a hot mess. But the FJ was kind of meant for that.
Well, I mean, the seats in the FJ they're meant for that sort of stuff, so that's not. But yeah, I mean, we have seat covers that I'd probably want to do.
Yeah.
One of the other concerns I have is that the window doesn't go down, so I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, he doesn't get to. Yeah, he doesn't get to have his head out the window,
and
which
like,
kind of stinks.
The air and stuff. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
If it ends up doing well, though, I mean, honestly, we drive more and more now. It's one of those things that really Enzo needs to probably go back to having it too, just for safety reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Technically, Lotus is wearing Enzo's. It's a little big on him, but it fits. I just have to tighten it all the way down. And so I don't know. We might order Lotus one and then go back to them both wearing it. And then at that point, if they're both in the back seat, it's like, I don't know. Probably should just get a Jeep or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh wow.
The FJ's for the pups anyways. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Did you see that we did get a
super
chat?
And that's what I was messing with because
so nothing happened.
Nothing happened, but I didn't have it turned on. I realized.
Really?
Well, I'm still learning the software. Like I had it set up, but it wasn't actually turned on, I guess.
Okay.
So I didn't see the lights though. I feel like the lights, but I'm not sure if that's a super chat or a super sticker, and I'm not sure if it matters.
Oh.
And I don't know how
they are very different.
And I don't know how to tell them apart yet.
Okay.
So
that's the seatbelt harness update. So we are going to continue to use that on Lotus and keep you guys updated on that, and if we come up with any other solutions.
He's mostly good with it.
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like he prefers it like that. He seems to do better when he's like comforted somehow.
Yeah.
I feel
well,
like.
and that's the thing too. Like when we first got the FJ with Enzo, we kept a thing in the back to restrict him.
Yeah.
And I was kind of messing with the computer, so I don't know if you said about like the safety things. Like we did like a ton of research back in the day, and I've done some research since then. Everything from like crates that can be bolted to the frame in the back of the car, to like the seatbelt harnesses and everything. And unfortunately, cars aren't meant for pups, so there's no like perfect solution. But
yeah.
This is one of the few that was crash tested and had the ability.
There
it goes. Yeah.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Oh, and
the lights are flashing.
Yeah.
It all works. Awesome. Thanks for helping us test that out. Now, do the lights flash forever after that?
I don't know.
Because the lights are still flashing.
And I got a notification, I think. I did not know that was
It went off. Okay, so once it disappears from the screen, the lights stop flashing.
Was there any sound? I thought there was supposed to be a sound effect, but
we won't hear the sound, though. So if you guys heard the sound, let us know. But that was so cool.
So, yeah, I just use the generic ones, but I want to get like some custom ones.
Yeah.
Maybe of like the pups or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's no like great solution in the event of a car crash, but this is one of the few that it actually seemed like a better option as far as safety, so that's why we originally went with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, so hard to say what's going to happen.
Yeah. We don't know. We kind of fly by the seat of our pants. I mean, that's just like real life for us. So we just do it as it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is. Enzo and Lotus. So last Saturday when we had the live stream, we had mentioned that we were going to attempt to leave them both out of crates because Enzo is good.
I have a video of this too.
You
we
do?
Can show. Yeah.
Enzo is good out of his crate for the most part. Sometimes he gets mad at us, I think, and like he gets into the snacks, but we've pretty much nipped that in the butt by just making sure that the snacks are up on the highest shelf where like he couldn't get to them. So Enzo's always really been good out of his crate. Ever since we got Lotus, that's what we've done with him. We have been kind of reluctant to let Lotus out because of his fear, of his anxiety, and I'm just afraid of like, is he gonna start like chewing on furniture like he never really has before, or Is he going to start getting into things? Is he going to be so anxious that he's going to be like pacing the whole time? But this past week we left them.
There's another one.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
Dang, awesome. Yeah.
Thanks, Gunny, and thanks to Bonnie, because Bonnie did both the tests.
Oh, awesome.
She did the first one, and then she did the second one. She said, it works.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a Pokemon, Riley said. I didn't know what that was.
Oh.
He said, the Pokemon thing is cool. I didn't know what that was. I just saw it.
Oh, Destiny did it too. Yeah, that's awesome that it pops up there.
And stuff. I didn't know what that thing was. I was just like, oh, that looks cool, I guess.
Yeah, that's really cool. So this past week we actually left the house and left them here alone out of their crates by themselves. So the first time was only
I can show you guys a little video of it here.
Yeah,
right
the
here.
first time was only not very long. So
this is right after I shut the door and left. And you can see him just sitting there by the door. And they just kind of like hang out and they're just like...
Is this the very first time?
Yeah, this is the very first time.
So this is Lotus's actual very first time out.
Yeah. I'll leave it down here if you guys want to watch it for a few minutes. But, I mean, they basically just kind of do nothing, you know?
Enzo's used to it. And, like, it usually takes Enzo a few minutes to, like... I don't know. Usually, like, within 5 minutes, Enzo's usually chilled out and, like... laying down either in his crate or on the cot or something. I think this time Lotus actually stayed in the closet.
Yeah, he went in the closet.
He
went to the bottom of the stairs and he was like, I can't go up the stairs.
Yeah.
So then he was like, oh.
He went in the closet, which is like one of his safe places. So like if it's storming or something, we usually will put like a bed in there, like if we are hanging out downstairs. And it's just like very coveted and safe in there. Like you can't hear anything from the outside. So he just associates that as with a safe place. So he stayed in there the whole time that we were gone that time.
Yeah.
But the second time, he actually just got in his crate and like laid down in his crate and chilled. And he was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, so I forgot to give them their cookie the first time I left. Because I was so just consumed with making sure everything was safe and everything. Yeah. The second time I remembered, I put them in their crates just like always, gave them their cookie and just didn't shut the door.
And then just left the door open, which is how we've always done with Enzo.
And Enzo immediately comes out, of course, but Lotus never... I think he finally eventually
he got out and got on his cot, but he just slept on his cot. Yeah. So I was fairly impressed with how Lotus did with that and how quickly he adapted to it.
Separation anxiety.
Yeah, Lotus does not have separation anxiety from us. He has separation anxiety from Enzo. So as long as Enzo is here with him, perfectly fine. Yeah. He does not care that we've left the house. He does not care how long that we are gone. Enzo's the opposite. Enzo has separation anxiety from us, but not from Lotus. He can be away from Lotus and have no cares about it. So
we actually got the cameras originally because we suspected and were right that Enzo wasn't sleeping. We were like, oh, we'll take him to the park, we'll wear him out, we'll be gone for a few hours. No, he would stay awake the whole time, and he still does. Yeah, still does. If we take him to the park before we leave and then we're gone for a few hours, come back, he's just wiped.
So exhausted because he feels like he has to like monitor the house. I feel like so. But so we're gonna start, I think, leaving them both out and I feel like it's like not very often that we are both gone from the house, but when it does happen, I think we're just gonna continue to leave them out and see how that goes. But it went so well the first few times. I really don't anticipate having any issues, and I think Lotus is.
I was really hoping to have an excuse to put the GoPro on and then make a YouTube video of what my German Shepherd does while I'm gone, but I don't know if anybody wants to watch a video
they just sleep.
Of him just laying in his crate for an hour.
They just sleep.
So
yeah, so that's the update on that. So we're gonna start doing that more. We'll update you guys next week as well. I'm sure that they will have been left at home.
And if anybody's curious, those cameras are super cheap.
Yeah,
they're in the show notes, like if you go on the video, but they're like $20-$25
and
per camera.
They're really nice too. One of them that we have, it's a little bit bigger. You can actually
rotate it, which I'm mixed on that one because you gotta have a shelf for it.
Yeah.
Where the other one you can just
you can just clip it anywhere. It's magnetized, isn't it?
Yeah, so we just like stuck to the ductwork in the basement, but
yeah. So those cameras are awesome.
Yeah.
For how cheap they were, especially.
Yeah. Yeah, because I used to have to do like IP cameras and have a separate computer and all these Ethernet cables, and it was ridiculous.
It was a hot mess.
So.
Okay. Okay, so Nick, he's under Gordo in the chat, but his real name is Nick. He's one of our moderators. He sent me some really awesome t-shirt designs this past week. It was actually just a few days ago that like I gathered all of them. And I actually went ahead and created those t-shirts and hoodies and tank tops and all that on Teespring. So there are 3 new designs up on Teespring. And what I really like about them is the ones that we had on there before, I felt like were more like girly. Like they have like girly writing on there and like just, I don't know. Like this one's not bad. That was meant for like to be unisex.
Just for the record,
but
I just put this on before the live stream, and I don't know if you can see all this hair that's on here.
They can't, but yeah, it's covered in hair.
It's ridiculous.
So I just felt like they were the ones that I had done, probably because I'm a woman, that they were a little bit more girly. And these ones that Nick have done, like I really feel like the men especially, like I feel like women will like them too, but men especially, I think are going to gravitate towards those.
I meant to grab a picture so I could post it.
Yeah, get on there and check them out. They're super, super awesome. And I did them in black and white designs. So I know I had someone recently order like a navy hoodie like this, and it had black design on there, and he's like, man, it's kind of hard to see the black. And I'm like, there's white on there. And he's like, oh, I didn't know, I should have scrolled farther. So like if you feel like the black isn't going to show up on your color, we also have them in white as well. So every single design I have up there, it's done in black ink and in white ink. So just make sure that you find what you're looking for, because it's more than likely there. So check out Nick's designs on there. They're awesome.
Nick said if you want some fonts.
Oh.
She's all about the fonts.
Yeah, I do.
When she switched computers, that's all she cared about.
I'm like, fonts. I have like 50 or 60 like special fonts that I have gotten from a website, and I'm like, my fonts aren't on here, and then I had to figure out how I was going to get them to the new computer. So I do enjoy different fonts. So those are up on Teespring. Check them out. Do we want to go ahead and do the t-shirt giveaway now, since we're to kind of that leads into that? Okay. So we'll go ahead and do our t-shirt giveaway for this week. We did 3 last week. All 3 are out and sent, so we're actually caught up on them for once in our lives. I feel like usually we're 1 behind.
Well, that's because people would take forever to like.
Yeah. All right.
Got the pup cam.
All right. So this one had #rally.
So now everybody knows how to spell Rally's name.
Yeah, there was like a couple people that spelled it incorrectly, so it's definitely not gonna pick up on that, I don't feel like. 103 people entered. Nicole Liss.
So she said rally with hearts.
And she has some little hearts on there for her little comment. So Nicole Liss, if you're in the live stream, let us know. If you're not, hopefully you watch it so we don't get behind again. Pups are going to town on their antlers. Enzo will sometimes indulge in the antler, and then like other times
he's been going at it though.
He's like, I don't care about this. Like I what's this antler? Like I'm like, do you remember that you like this?
The first antler we ever bought was for Enzo.
And
Lotus was 12 weeks old at the time, and Enzo was like, nah. And Lotus was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. So I mean, like sometimes he loves them, and sometimes he's like, I don't know, guys, it's okay.
I mean, we have to take him away from Lotus.
Yeah, you do have to remove them from Lotus, because he's a power chewer, and if he's on there too long, it gets nasty.
And expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. That one is holding up much better than the actual deer antlers, though.
I don't know if that's good or bad, though.
Going to town. You like that little one? Okay, so what else? We only have a couple more things left. Oh, the website is currently in like total disarray, I feel like.
It's getting better, but the FAQ page is fairly clean, but some other pages are a little messy.
What exactly happened with that? Like, did the coding get messed up, or like what?
No, it's just it takes me forever because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a hot mess right now. So if you get on there, it's probably a mess.
It's
but
a little bit better. It's just incomplete.
The FAQ you're saying is the best. Yeah, which is what matters the most.
The FAQ is incomplete, but what is there is
good. Okay.
And done. It's just not, it'll never be complete.
Yeah. Because we had, I feel like it was Jeff reached out to me, who's
Yeah.
one of our patrons, and he was like, hey, did you know that, like, this is happening? Like, it was like
Which I did know.
The font was, like, covering Enzo's face, and it was, like, dark, and Enzo's face is dark, and he's like, I can't read it. And I'm like, yeah, it's a hot mess right now. So if you get on there, it might be wacky right now, but you're attempting to work on that this week, maybe?
I mean, I work on that thing, like, every day.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Neither one of us really know a lot about...
Yeah, I mean, I'm teaching myself how to build a website,
Yeah.
so it's, like, sometimes... It takes me like 20 minutes to figure out like how to
Something
change the
very simple.
font or something stupid.
Yeah. So if you get on there and it's a mess, we're sorry. We apologize, but we'll get it together one of these days.
I'm hoping you'll just...
I would love to take over that project because I actually love designing like t-shirts, clothes, websites. Like I love that stuff, but I just am currently so like overstretched or overextended right now in my work responsibilities that I don't have time to take over that type of project. But yeah, I mean, maybe eventually.
Yeah.
One of these days I'm gonna get to stay home and not have to go into work every day, and when that day comes, I'm gonna be able to do all the things that I really want to do, which is really just YouTube related stuff for the Pup channel. So hopefully that day comes sooner rather than later. Do you want to talk about all the parks in Cincinnati?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Yeah, that's, I feel like a pretty cool thing.
So, two things, I guess. One is we typically do videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You'll notice there wasn't one last night. That's because it sucked.
It did. I told him, he made me watch. We view the videos before they go up, and I watched it last night, and I was like, that cannot go up on the channel.
I knew it was bad, but yeah, she just confirmed my thoughts.
I was like, no, that is not going up. The viewers are not, no.
The audio, there was just... So Lotus is, as you know, afraid of everything. One of those things being videos that have like a lot of wind noise because he associates that with storms, which rightfully so. So there was a ton of wind noise, and I had to do a ton of audio editing, and it just made the video so inconsistent. Like you'd be like constantly adjusting your volume. It was just obnoxious.
It was a wreck.
And it rained on us, so then like I had to switch to the iPhone and then back and forth
between the two cameras.
Yeah.
But like the message that you were getting across, I felt like was really good. So I'm hoping that you'll do that same content, but like with different.
Well, and the pups drove me nuts. There were so many blooper type things that I can make an entire video out of it. I might do that because Lotus was just what he was doing earlier times a million. So I might still put that up as some footage one day here shortly or whatever. But anyways, we were actually at one of our new parks, which you guys haven't seen yet. Basically what I've started doing with the pups is we're going to try to visit like every park in Cincinnati this year. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know how many there are.
I don't either.
There could be 20. There could be 800.
Yeah.
I don't know. But basically I've just been going to the parks website and like Google Maps and finding new ones, and we just go and we just see what it's about. And so far we've actually found a couple really nice ones.
Yeah, the Echo one is cool.
Yeah, like just gorgeous parks I had no idea existed and everything, because you always hear about Eden Park, which is the big one downtown.
Yeah.
But there's so many other ones, so yeah, in the upcoming videos you're gonna start seeing us going to like
different
literally
parks.
A new park like every day, because
and the pups love it.
I mean, like we leave the house here and I pull up Google Maps and it's like, all right, let's find a new one.
Where are we going? Yeah.
And we just go and see what happens.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I like that. That's cool.
She hasn't even been to any of them.
No, I haven't. Again.
And she hasn't seen the videos yet because they're not done.
So.
She's seen a couple photos.
I've seen the you showed me how at Echo Park where like it has like the rolling hills.
Yeah.
Which is really pretty. That one is really, really pretty. I would like that one a lot.
Yeah, that one's super nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but yeah,
those will be coming up in some videos. So if anybody, I know we've actually had a few people say they live in this area. So I haven't found a good website that tells me anything about the local parks really. Like, so I don't know. If you live in this area, you might find it useful too.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Last thing on the list.
Which is
Patreon perks and general info. Did we already talk about that?
Yeah, it was just like how it lights up
stuff.
and stuff. And yeah, we still have it, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty much it.
That's it for the itinerary. Guess what time it is?
1:30.
1:30. We did it in 30 minutes.
And we started a couple minutes late.
Which was my goal. So we'll have you guys throw your questions in the chat. If you need any questions answered, any concerns, anything like that.
And to answer Nick's question, no, I just built it on WordPress, the website. So I didn't want to use anything that was going to charge me monthly. But it's on Bluehost with just a WordPress theme.
Okay. Amelia says, I just got a 4-month-old German Shepherd. How should I socialize them? Or him, sorry. Whatever you want him to be okay with and be social with, you need to start putting him in those scenarios and around those people or around those animals now. Obviously it needs to be done in a safe manner, so if he is just playful and likes everybody and likes all kinds of animals, then that won't be very hard to do. And 4 months is definitely old enough to, yeah, so should make sure that he's up to date on all of his shots, like he's had his rabies shots and all that good stuff. But yeah, I would start socializing, like if you want him to be okay with kids, get him around kids now. If you want him to be okay around other pups, get him around other pups now. We've had a lot of people recently at what, Lotus? I don't even hear anything. You just like randomly growled.
There's a squirrel 3 counties over.
Yeah. We've had a lot of people reach out recently, which you don't know about because you're not in Instagram a lot, but they're like, hey, I live on a farm. I'm getting a German Shepherd. Like, I want them to be okay with horses.
Oh.
It's like, that's fantastic. Like, you just have to, like, make sure that you socialize them around the horses, you know, from the get-go, obviously in a safe manner. So, I would just recommend, you know, whatever you want him to be okay with, get him socialized with them now versus waiting and doing that later. It's a lot harder to kind of reverse how they think as they get older.
Did you tell people to re-enter their questions? Because I know like Nick and Riley have answered a bunch.
Yeah.
The lights are flashing.
We got a notification on. I feel
I
like everything's going off. The phone is going off. The lights are flashing. Did anything come on the screen though?
Oh, there
it goes.
Okay. So apparently the lights go first.
Wow.
All right.
That is craziness up in here. If Riley or Nick have already answered your question, do not re-put your question back into the chat for me to answer. If Nick or Riley answered it, you are good to go on that answer. Trust me. Only if your question has not been answered, throw that back in the chat for me.
Obviously, thanks, Rich. Rich is a Patreon.
Rich is a Patreon. If it's the same Rich.
I don't know how many Trinidad.
Yeah, it is. That's him.
Rich is out
Thanks,
of his mind.
Rich. Yeah. We have a significant amount of patrons now, I feel like, or at least more than I ever thought we would.
One was more than I thought we would. So
yeah, Jeff was our first one. I'll never forget that. Let's see. I feel like I already have lost my spot. Do you have a question?
No.
Waiting. Do you still like your Bissell upright vacuum?
Ooh,
no.
You're a little behind.
Bonnie, we took the Bissell back. Gosh, that's been a while now.
Yeah, I need to. Actually, I was just thinking about that. We probably need to do a review on that now because it's been at least a month. And we got the Dyson whatever the newest one is, 11 maybe.
Yeah, that thing is the real deal. Yeah, the Dyson is absolutely the real deal. Do you notice a difference in the quality of the antlers when you buy them online versus buying them in a pet store?
I don't know that.
We have bought them online, but not for our pups. We bought them online for, like, Charlie got one for Christmas. And, everything is flashing again. And the phone's going off.
Gunny. Good job, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Gunny.
Thank you. Oh, here comes another one. I feel like this is going to be a huge distraction for everyone. The antler that I did order online, I was actually kind of disappointed in.
Well, it's just hard to see them because they go by ounces. So you could have one that's, I don't know what ounce is normal, I can't remember, but let's say 5 ounces that's like this long, and you could have one that's like this long, but it's real thin. And
I like picking them out in the store, I will say that, because then I can feel them, I can see, like, is there any cuts? Because, like, sometimes they cut them down the middle. I forget, there's, like, a specific word for that.
Yeah,
where like
the
marrow is like exposed, and the pups, that's what they're really trying to get to, is the marrow that's inside of there. So I don't actually like the ones that are like that because they go through them more quickly though. So I like to pick them out in the store. That's just my personal preference, though.
Enzo, acted like he was going to take Antler.
Yeah. This is a good question. So
I don't
Mike.
know if it popped up in all the mess, but Josh also.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
It came on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, and they
Thanks,
were
Josh.
consecutive. Yeah,
didn't
thanks,
get
Josh. Mike Valentino says, "Can you speak on toy sharing?" This is an excellent question, and we really don't get it very often. I don't know that I've ever gotten that question. I have a 3-year-old pup and an 8-week-old,
the
and
lights are flashing again.
Oh, something's
Jeff.
about to come through.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, he's a patron too.
We'll do his question next when
Yeah.
we finish this one.
I have a 3-year-old pup and an 8-week-old, and right now they share. My oldest is a sweetheart, but they will play together and steal each other's toys. Is that okay? So, you're going to have to use your discretion. So, if you feel like it's a problem or you feel a little uneasy about it, then you probably need to correct the behavior. So, this is something that we have battled since really day one of having Lotus.
We probably let it go.
We let it go for too long, which we really didn't let it go long at all, but it was too long.
So there came a point when I noticed something was wrong, and
Yeah.
that was Enzo's very gentle. He's
Yeah.
just like, that's fine, whatever. And then he let him take a stick from him one time, and I was like, okay,
No.
clearly he's just not wanting to put up a fight or whatever anymore. Where forever he would draw the line at glow ball and stick and something like his favorite things. He'd be like, no, pup, get away. When I started noticing that, that's when we would actually, in the evenings, if we were just going to watch TV for a bit, we would actually separate with the coffee table and the ottomans, and one pup on one side, one on the other. And then for a long time after, and even to this day, even now,
Lotus will still try to take anything that Enzo
and he just
has.
wants whatever's, if Enzo gives it to him and goes, it's another toy, then Lotus wants that one. He just wants
Lotus
whatever.
literally just wants whatever Enzo has. It's not, oh, I want that specific toy. It's, I want what you have. I mean, how many times he'll try to steal his antler, but he has his own antler. So Lotus actually does get a consequence for that. We do not permit it to happen in this house.
Now, there are those times when you can tell, at the park, when they're playing and
that's
chasing.
why I was
as long as
saying,
they're both doing it, then it's fine.
Yeah, you have to use your discretion.
Or rope if they're playing tug and stuff.
Yeah, if you think it's fine and you think it's playful and it's not a big deal and it's not affecting the older pup, you don't notice that the older pup is losing interest or just kind of giving up, I would say it's perfectly fine. If it comes to a point like how with Enzo, we really noticed that was affecting him. He wasn't really playing with toys anymore. He wasn't playing with sticks anymore. Yeah, we started noticing. It all just kind of dawned on us. It was it's because Lotus is always taking what he has. And he just didn't want to deal with it. And he didn't want to put up a fight over it because he's just so gentle and go with the flow. That's when you probably need to draw a line and make sure that there's some kind of consequence for that.
We've gone back a long ways, back to the way it was. He will grab toys now and stuff.
Yeah.
And because he knows, and he knows...
He'll look
when Lotus is coming to I might want to steal this toy.
Are you gonna get him?
If I say something to Lotus, Enzo will keep playing. If I don't say anything to Lotus, Enzo will actually kind of stop or whatever.
Hey, are you gonna figure this out for me? So he knows now that we're gonna protect him from having his toys stolen. But it took us a while to get to that point, and we almost had, at some points, it was, forcing him to get in the habit of playing with toys again.
And Enzo can take whatever he wants, and he will occasionally, you know, and, that's when we let it go, when they're just playing around, usually in the basement or outside, and Enzo will straight up go, I've seen him just straight rip stuff from Lotus, because, he's way stronger than Lotus.
Yeah.
And I've literally just seen him rip things away from him, so I know he can do it, he just doesn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. All right, what was Jeff's
comments? Jeff. What's the most ridiculous things you've done to spoil Enzo and Lotus? I think it's the freaking beds they're laying on right now.
He asked me this. He sent this to me in a message, and I said, save that for next week's live stream because people will actually probably be interested in hearing that.
I don't know. We bought him a car.
Okay, yeah. So the FJ that we have, that you see the pups that is their car. It was
bought for Enzo.
Only bought for Enzo.
I had my car, she had her car. I went out and bought that just because of Enzo.
We did not need another car.
That's mostly because I didn't want dog fur in my car, but...
Yes. So, I would say the car is probably, I don't know how you could really beat that, but these beds that they're laying on over here Cost me $225 a pop.
Yeah.
So that's pretty excessive, I feel like. But that really, I felt like for me, boiled down to their health and making sure that they're laying on something that is accommodating for their joints and their hips and stuff. So that was really... I don't know that that was necessarily for them as much as it was like peace of mind for me, making sure that they were okay.
Yeah.
The car
is a pretty big one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things. Like, I used to take. There was like 3 days a week where, because of our schedules, when I would go to work, that there was going to be a long gap. So I would take like a 2-hour lunch and then make it all up on like other days and stuff.
Yeah.
Just so he could have that time. Lotus,
don't even think about it.
Lotus. Let's see what happens here.
Does Enzo want that other one?
Yeah, I think Enzo's interested in that bigger one, so...
That's fine. See, and like that's a scenario where like Lotus now has Enzo's antler, but Enzo is showing interest in the other one, so...
Enzo, probably you want to try this one?
We won't say a whole lot about that.
You can try it.
Did he slobber or did his nose run?
I don't know.
Oh, we can't keep anything clean around here. It's exhausting.
He's slobbering.
What about for Rally?
I mean, she's got like her cat condo. Nothing like crazy.
Nothing too insane for her, but she does have her own room.
I mean, they were gotten as pups because of Rally.
Yeah, we purposely got pups instead of adults. She does have her cat condo, which takes up a significant amount of room in the office.
Yeah. It affected where we lived a few times.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, you'd have to give her the cat.
Yeah.
We had 2 then.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
For Christmas, she gets a lot. Wait, and she's even play with half of it.
She does it like 3 in the morning, though.
Yeah, she does like to play at nighttime, which keeps everybody in the house up.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't require as much.
The cats really don't.
I mean, I know we've done some. I've bought a few. Well, no, that was Evo. I was gonna say I bought a few MacBook chargers.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Our other cat that we used to have used to like to chew through every cord in the house.
Yeah, you couldn't leave any cord out. Every cord was protected.
Headphones. How many headphones did she chew through?
She chewed through a few $100s worth of headphones.
Yeah. Riley doesn't do that though.
Yeah, so.
We haven't done anything too crazy for not as much crazy stuff as we've done for the pups.
Yeah. She
probably needs a gift. Thanks for that question, Jeff. Thanks for saving it. T Go Crazy says, my 8-month-old German Shepherd is about 70 pounds. How much do you think he will weigh when he's full grown? I would say, and like, it's so hard. I mean, this is completely...
How old are they now?
8 months. I would say maybe 10 or 20 more pounds. It really just depends. Like, Enzo, I felt like kept growing forever. Lotus, I really feel like once he was at like 8 or 9 months, he didn't get a whole lot bigger from that point on. And it really just depends on how big the parents are too. Like, that's your biggest, like, that's what you can judge the most from. Enzo's parents were very big. Enzo is a very large dog. Lotus's parents were average size. They were in that 60 to 70 pound range, and Lotus is about 75 pounds now. So really, the parents, I feel like, are the best judge. It's so weird,
like, because in my memory, Lotus's parents seemed a lot bigger, but I don't think they were. Mm-mm. It's just I always see Lotus next to Enzo.
Yeah.
So it really skews what I feel like he is.
Yeah. Let's see. Elijah said, can you make the GSD stop the vocals? Not possible. You just have to embrace it. You guys should make some merch with a German Shepherd and an American flag kind of deal. I feel like that would be super cool. That's not a bad idea. I might look into that.
There's a lot of things. It's just...
very time, I think.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's just so many things we want to do.
Yeah. Like, we have a list like a mile long. Riley pretty much reinforced what I said about just embracing the vocals.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Earplugs, you know.
My GSD Ranger is my service dog, but I'm having a little bit of a problem with working with off-leash stuff, any input. I need him off-leash for my seizures. Yeah, Destiny.
I would want somebody.
That would be something where you would need to seek a professional. I know it seems like we know what we're doing when it comes to that stuff. We know what we're doing with our pups just because we went through the 8-week training with both of them. So, I mean, really, Will and I have been through 16 weeks of training. Oh, something popped up on the screen, but it was like there and gone very quickly.
I don't know.
I don't know what it was. We'll have to go back and watch. But there was like a big star and it spun.
Oh, I think that's a new subscriber.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, Destiny, what I would recommend with that is seeking a professional because you're going to want to make sure that you're doing it correctly and that you understand kind of everything that goes into that. It's not something that Will and I can just get on a video and teach you guys. We get people that ask about it all the time. We are working on compiling a list. Actually, Nick and Riley, I think, are kind of collaborating on compiling a list of trainers that do videos on YouTube for things like that, and they're going to send them over to us, and then Will and I are going to kind of look through them.
And I've been watching some too.
Yeah, and we're going to get those up on the YouTube channel because in these scenarios... Oh.
Somebody else just subscribed.
That little star looks like it's from Mario.
Probably is. I mean, Streamlabs is meant for gamers, technically. That's what it was built for, so... Yeah. I think that's why the one apparently is a Pokemon or something.
Yeah. So we are working on that, Destiny, because we do have people like you that are like, hey, can you teach me, how to heal my pup? Or can you teach me the break command? And Will and I are just not professional trainers. But we are working on getting resources for you guys to be able to learn that stuff and do that on your own because sometimes professional training just isn't in everybody's realm of what they can do. But because that he is a service dog, I would definitely recommend.
And there's a lot of programs out there and stuff.
Yeah, to a professional for that. Yeah.
Because you don't want to do anything that's going to affect their training for that. Because I don't know what's involved to make them be able to detect that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to do anything that could jeopardize that.
Yeah. Elijah, back to you. You said I'll work around it. I kind of thought that you were telling us to make ours not be vocal, but just to kind of elaborate on that, we do kind of just kid about, like, you just have to embrace it because they are very vocal, but ultimately you never want to take away their voice, and I say this every week. I feel like I sound like a broken record on here, but yeah, I mean, it really is just something that you do kind of have to learn how to, like, alter how you do things, and just kind of, it just is what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, like Enzo, like when we would take him in to get groomed at PetSmart, he would bark the whole time.
Yeah.
But like they knew that.
Yeah.
The groomers knew that because now some random customer coming in may not know that shepherds are like that because frankly we didn't really know that.
Yeah, we didn't know that beforehand.
But yeah, I mean they're just vocal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the fold-up water bowls that you guys use?
Fold up? Oh, the one that like crushes down. Oh,
the thing is like the cheapest thing ever.
Yeah.
It does come in handy though. I feel like it's from PetSmart or like we got that at a Reds game or like something so silly.
We've got two of them. We've got one that like crushes down and then we've got one that's like.
I like the one that's like rubber and it's like in tiers.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't like that it doesn't have like a lid or something weird.
Josh, we'll have to find that. And
that was like one of the first things we ever bought for Enzo. So I know I have it. I just had to find.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it came from Amazon.
Yeah, we'll have to get back to you on that, Josh.
If this was my computer, I could do it, but this isn't mine. So.
Let's see. What treats do I feed my puppy? We give them ours, all kinds of different ones.
Whatever shows up in the P.O. box now.
Yeah, apparently whatever shows up in our P.O. box. We have like a whole cabinet now full of treats that have showed up. And we have like, our toy bins are overloading from people that are sending us stuff in the P.O. box. So the pups are like set to go. Like they're in heaven. They love getting that type of stuff. But specifically, the ones that I always recommend, especially for puppies, are the blue buffalo training treats, and those are in the...
Those are linked.
Those are linked below.
Just below the video.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
check those out. Get those. Our pups love them, and they're adults, and they're really made for puppies, and they're really tiny, but like ours still love them. So I would get a couple bags of those. They have all kinds of different flavors. Those are the ones that we've had from day one. Like literally before Enzo ever even made it home, I had already had those here. and they still are in our house every day.
It was like 2 weeks before he showed up. One day, this big box shows up from Amazon. I'm like, what is this?
Everything
it's
for the pup.
It's like literally she typed puppy into Amazon, hit select all, add to cart.
I had to be prepared. I was still not prepared though. Let's see. Watching the UK game but couldn't miss the pups live. What CBD oil do you use for Lotus? It's called Honest Paws. We are working on getting like an affiliate with them so that we can get you guys maybe like a discount code or something. But it is called Honest Paws. We have, I feel like, noticed a good amount of difference with Lotus, and we talked about this last week, how we were basically giving him less than we should have been giving him. We are now back on schedule with like giving him the proper amount. And I do actually feel like since we talked last week, because we were very concerned last week about his anxiety, remember?
It has gotten.
And it actually has gotten a great deal better. So
I mean, now that you mention it.
It could.
But we've done a lot of things.
Yeah, everything that we do runs around what's going on with them. So we have done a lot of things, but he is much
even
better
the
this
stuff
week.
we put on TV.
Yeah.
Has been because I want him to be okay with the TV, so I've been purposely leaving it on during the day when I'm working, and I just find things that are just monotone.
Yeah. Carla says rescued an 8-month-old German Shepherd, plays rough with 11-year-old Shih Tzu. Any ideas on how to get him to play nicer? We actually see this a lot, so I feel like because German Shepherds are herding dogs, they seriously feel like smaller dogs or cats
or children
or children. They want to herd them. Like
I mean, even Lotus, like when we go to leave, and Enzo loves to be chased. He thinks it's like the greatest game ever, and he knows when I grab his collar, like, oh, we're going somewhere here. Try to catch me, human.
Yeah.
And Lotus is like, no, like he literally tries to herd him back, like.
And that's tough because the Shih Tzu is also older, so they probably are like, yeah, I don't want to deal with your nonsense. That's tough. My thing is really you just need to make sure that you're monitoring their play, and when the German Shepherd gets a little bit more rough than you want them to get.
Lotus, Lotus.
Hey, Lo, you need to stay over here, bud.
Lotus.
Over here.
You can have that one.
You're the one that wanted to trade in the first place.
You got the regrets?
Just going to do a circle here around the living room. When the German Shepherd starts to get a little bit more rough than you would like, just do like a little timeout or some kind of separation to let the German Shepherd know, hey, that's not acceptable. We're drawing the line at this point in time. And usually that's enough of a negative consequence for them, because really what they want to do is he or she, I didn't
Lotus.
see, really wants to play with the Shih Tzu, but like just doesn't know socially how to do that in an acceptable way. So I think if you kind of just set the boundaries and give them like a timeout or some sort of small consequence, they'll learn that, hey, when I get to that point, I'm being taken out of the situation. That's not really what I want, so I'm just going to go ahead and be nice. Now, that's not going to happen after 1 or 2 times or 3 times of doing it. That's going to be probably a few weeks of practicing that method and being consistent every time.
Well, and like anytime they're getting too rough or whatever, like what we used to do with Lotus is I would just grab him. Yep. I mean, not like hard, but like...
Yep. It's a very small consequence.
And just gently convince him to sit down.
Yep.
And then
make them wait.
And then literally just for a few seconds and then let him go again. Mm-hmm. And what he learned was, hey, when I do this behavior, they make me stop playing.
And he doesn't want to stop playing.
So I used to do that a lot with Rally, and before he ever went through training, we used to do that.
Yep. Let's see. What age... I think it means to you, is a dog not a puppy anymore, and you start feeding them adult dog food, because my puppy food chart goes up to like a year. So James, a year is when we switched Enzo. We never had to do that with Lotus because Lotus's food is like a hybrid. You can do it for puppies or adults. But Enzo we originally had on Royal Canin Puppy and had to switch to Royal Canin Adult, and we did that at that year mark. We were really good about following the puppy chart and the feeding chart back then. And so we switched out a year. And if anyone usually asks me when to do that, I typically say about a year. That one's going to put a hole in my floor. Because that thing is heavy. I can't believe he likes that one too.
He usually likes smaller things.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, get them teeth clean.
What dog is a really good family dog that can still guard the house? There are so many different breeds that...
Google would probably be your best answer for that.
I'm only really educated on German Shepherds. I feel like that's what I've done
Lotus.
most of my research on. I know Riley, who's a moderator in the chat, he knows a lot about not just German Shepherds, but I feel like other dog breeds as well. So he might actually be able to speak to that a little bit more than I can. I mean, I know dogs out there that are guard dogs and dogs out there that can be just house dogs, but I mean, German Shepherds are obviously a good dog for that. If you watched our recent video where they want to attack the pizza man, they obviously guard our house and are very good house dogs as well. I feel like some people may argue that German Shepherds aren't really house dogs. I don't know. Like, I feel like some people like would argue that point just because they're like working dogs, but I don't know. Ours are perfectly fine with being indoors, so that's also going to be like a preference on your part too.
There was a follow-up to the food question. Do you see it there?
No, because I'm trying to remain where I am.
Switched over. Did we do like the 80-20? Like, did we do it slowly? I don't think we... I think basically...
No,
because it was just...
It was the same food. It was just bigger pieces of it. And it was
I mean,
still,
I think it's...
There's probably different for a little bit of... Thanks, Nikki, for subscribing.
I think what we did was, when the bag was getting low, we went
like
ahead
mixed it in
and
a
ordered...
little bit.
But yeah, I don't think... Now, when we went to the Gentle Giants, we did.
If you switch the brand of dog food, and we get people that either for health reasons or allergy reasons or whatever, they need to switch, and I'm always like, it should take you like over a week to switch them.
Like a lot of you know, we're looking into doing some mixing in some raw stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be like, here's a pound of beef or something. Like, I mean, it's going to be like really slow.
Yeah.
Like on one meal, we might give them like a little extra.
But if it's the same brand, I would say that you could do it a little bit quicker, and that I wouldn't worry about it as much as I would worry if you were switching a brand.
Like when they go to the bathroom, you can just scale it back.
Yeah, 100%. Like if the next time that they have a bowel movement and it's not what you would expect or it's different from what it normally is, yeah, absolutely scale back and mix it, you know, how you would do it if you were switching. But I feel like you probably won't see a whole lot of a problem there.
As big of an issue.
No, I don't remember anything weird with Enzo. When will a male GSD reach full height? I feel like, so Riley answered that. I'm not even gonna, I don't know why I don't look at that first. Let's see.
Coming up.
So, yeah, we are coming up on it. We have like a few minutes left here. When my puppy gets bitey and I try ignoring her, you guys say she'll start going for my ankles as I walk away. Any tips? So, it's not just ignoring her that you're going to want to implement, but like you need to have toys in every room as a distraction. So,
dude, Enzo just took a chunk out of the antler.
Seriously, Bubba? If she is biting something or biting you, you're going to want to just stick a toy in her mouth as just like a replacement behavior. In addition to that, when you're walking away and she's nipping at your ankles, you need to react how one of her siblings would react. So you need to, like, in a high-pitched voice, either yelp or say ouch. And she's going to realize, oh, that would be like how another dog would react. That's painful, and it's going to be a negative thing for her. Again, that's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. That's going to be something that you need to be consistently implementing. So I would say replacement toys like crazy. And then if she happens to get you, you need to yelp or make it very known that that hurt you in some way. And that should kind of over time help with that. As she gets older too, that's a phase that they all go through. As she gets older, she's going to grow out of that phase. Let's see.
Is there any like specific questions that we've missed that Riley or Nick hasn't answered, because I know like you've got a ton of work stuff to do.
Yeah, I do. I have to.
Last time we went for almost 2 hours without realizing it.
Yeah.
By accident. So I don't know if there's any, like, if anybody's still here that we haven't got to their question.
Oh yeah.
And Nick or Riley hasn't gotten to it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it, you know, Nick and Riley, sometimes it takes them a minute. They're a little slow. I'm just messing with you guys. So like how you said, like you'll start to answer and then realize like,
yeah, and then I'm like, oh crap.
Lotus, don't be trying to do it by laying down.
If there was anything in there that we didn't get to, which I know there was a lot because I just scrolled down from where I was and there was a pretty significant amount of comments in there. Some of them are just like you guys talking back and forth. But if something was pressing that didn't get answered, just DM me on Instagram or message me on Facebook and I will answer it that way because I hate leaving you guys with unanswered questions. That is, you know, obviously what we're here for. So I want to make sure that I get everything answered. But again, we were trying to keep it down to an hour today. I have some crazy stuff that I need to do for work.
We'll say there's a follow-up food question about their pup not wanting to eat until she pretends to eat. That's just, they might just be regulating because Lotus will skip meals all the time.
Yeah, Lotus does skip meals.
Enzo used to do that stuff.
But I do the pretending to eat thing too.
Enzo used to do that.
With Lotus, which is really funny because I feel like you think I'm crazy. But like as soon as I'm like, oh, this is so good, and I pretend that I'm eating his food, he's like, oh, okay, Mom, let me get that. So that is kind of funny. But unless it's like... Did you
just take another chunk out of the antler?
He's going to town on that. Unless they're like consistently not like ever eating, I wouldn't be too concerned with it as long as you think that they're getting enough food.
I mean, I've literally had Lotus skip like 3 meals in a row.
The German Shepherds are so good about self-regulating when it comes to eating that you hardly ever meet one that is an overeater just because they're so good about it. So it's rare that they, you know, would be overeating or undereating. They really just are good about being like, hey, I'm not really hungry for this meal. I'm just going to skip it. And they're fine with that. So, I mean, for the most part, I would probably just let that go. Unless, again, you are, for some reason, you feel like it's like overly. But
Nick said it's Riley's fault because he was gone for 20 minutes. I didn't even notice Nick was gone because
he said he had to go get his wife.
No, but I didn't even because it seemed like he never left.
Yeah, it's because Riley was answering everything.
I guess, yeah. Lotus. Hey.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's it, but...
Yeah. Like I said, if you guys have any pressing questions or issues... And
next week won't be nearly as crazy for you work-wise. So.
Yeah.
So you're going to do a 24-hour live stream?
No. I'm on a timeline this weekend to get a lot of things done for work. Next week will be better. I should not be on a timeline like I am this week. So that's kind of why we're trying to keep it down to an hour. In addition to that, I really don't feel well. So next week we should be able to stay in a little bit longer to get everything answered. And I feel like we normally are able to get everything answered, but we just couldn't do it in an hour this week. So
wow, Bubba, you made a mess of that. Wow.
I guess I'll be washing the beds.
Lotus, you're the one that gave it up, and now you got the regrets. Lotus, you got the regrets. Here, you thought it was greener on this side. Here.
He's like, I don't want that deer antler. I want the elk antler back.
This might be the last live stream in the living room, because
it's probably not
going to be a bit much.
It's not going to be It's not going to be the last live stream in the living room because the basement has to be redone before we do any kind of live stream downstairs, and that's definitely not going to happen in a week.
It could happen.
No, the walls would have to be painted. The furniture would have to be.
What color the wall is.
The furniture would have to be rearranged. It's not going to happen. All right.
I guess that'll do it.
Bye, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks for all the super chats and super stickers and subscribers.
I don't know how to end this new one.
What about the red button?
Yeah, I guess.